Right, I've managed to work out how to do the construction lines. Let me get my compass back, set back to 90 degrees again. And that should give me my equator. So, start at a point. I've started at 1 and drawn my equator back on. Then what I need to do then is for each of the 10 other points, I need to mark on where the longitudes are. The lines. I don't need to mark on the lines. I just need to mark at the intersections of those longitudes on the equator. So it'll divide the equator into 10, as we did before. Then for each of them, so I'm going to find number 2. Number 2 comes down to the equator. I'm going to mark a point 90 degrees in one direction and a point 90 degrees in the other direction. I'm going to call those 2A and 2B. Now, I change my compass, put it in until from that point it comes to the edge of my circle that I said was a 12mm circle around that pole, because 1 is now the pole that we're dealing with. And from those 2 points, mark around the sphere, and that line will be parallel, and do it the same from the other one. 2B, oh that was 2B, and I'll do 2A now. Mark around that, and I need to do that for all 6, well, the other 5 points, so number 2 to number 6. And when that's done, you end up with your 10-pointed star around that pole. Then after that, I'm going to minimise the amount of marking up I do there. I'm going to mark on the equator and those 10 points, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B, 4A, 4B, and so on the equator. And there'll be 6 equators, because next thing we do is go to number 2 as the North Pole and do the same thing. So we start with number 2, draw its equator. You can see if I drew on everything here, and I'm going to have to come up with a colour scheme, I guess, for this, because it will get confusing. Draw on its equator and do the same thing with it. So where these come down and come up to meet that equator, find those points all the way around, then mark off the 90-degree round points to mark on your parallels, and then draw on all your parallels. Well, 1's already on there, look, so there'll be less and less to find on each one. And by the time we round all 6, the sphere will be marked out, and I'll come back at that point, or and there'll be the star around every single one of the 12 dodecahedral points, and hopefully the little, well, the little pentagrams and all the other emerging shapes, the petals and the pentagrams, will become clear as I'm going through that process. Alright, thanks.